All right, what's going on, Piglets? It's your boy Taylor B, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Daniel and Joey. On this glorious day, welcome to another installment of Culture by the Uncultured. And before we go any further, be sure to click that follow or subscribe button. And remember, Culture by the Uncultured is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Culture by the Uncultured. That's one word. All right, gentlemen. 2021. Where we're still kind of on quarantine. All is going crazy bonkers in the world right now. We got people fighting on Facebook, people fighting in real life, people fighting at the Capitol. I mean, before we get into that, how are you guys doing, gentlemen?
Waiting for capital punishment. Anyway.
Wow. I got the drums.
That's kind of a quick rollout, but all right. I'm doing pretty good for what I should be. I actually got the news that I actually contracted the coronavirus recently, as well as both of my parents. My mom's in the hospital, my dad's in the quarantine in the room, but I'm pretty sure we'll be all right. Don't really know how it came about the house because we're all pretty, we stay home and I just go to work and back. But apart from that, man, it's almost like I don't even have time to really react to the reality of my life because of all the crazy shit that's been going on, man. Like it's really infiltrating my life and my phone and it's everywhere. Can't run away from it. All type of crazy stuff going on. So I've just been kind of like filling my mind with television.
That's crazy to me to think that you guys got it, but y'all don't go nowhere. That's a real scary thought. Like, how the hell does this thing have a mind of its own? It's like, I'm gonna go up in this house right here and give everybody a say.
It's just you can't. Ultimately, you just can't run from something that you can't see. You know what I mean? Like it could be anything. It could have been a moment where one of us went to the grocery store for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? And unless you're constantly like OCD about like doing your hands and like covering your face and like it's just that's hard when it's a 24/7 job, And I feel like I did my part. I feel like I did I feel like I made effort to stand clear of sticky situations, but unfortunately, shit happens, so we just face it and do what we can to progress, really. But it is kind of scary. I mean, it's existed for a year before it entered my household, so I mean, I don't know.
It probably existed way before that. They just released it a year ago.
I
Anyway,
actually kind of while we're on the topic, did you guys hear that? I believe it was Israel paid to like jump the line for the vaccine, and they already have like 1.2 million or 1.8 million citizens that have the vaccine already in
Oh
Israel.
shit,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
hmm
that's not fair. I'm an Israelite too. Damn it! Come on now.
Wow. I was gonna say, yeah, man, it's definitely scary, kind of like living your day to day life, especially with like the looming threat of the virus. Like even as like a lone worker, I have my coworker, and then like every once in a while, talk to different people and stuff. Obviously, when we're out there in the field, I have to like, go to utilize restaurants and stuff like that, or potentially utilize public bathrooms and stuff. Go to Home Depot every once in a while. So I definitely totally understand you in the trying to live with this in day to day life, especially because you don't know what other people have been doing. You don't know the precautions they're taking, how serious they're taking it. Like were they just out last night in a freaking in a hotel room with 20 different people, no mask, no hand sanitizer,
Right.
three people already infected, and now they're showing up to work today, trying to serve you and shit. Like
Exactly.
you
I
never
think
know.
that
It's
I
just
have that thought in my head every time I'm just like thinking about going on a day or something like that, and I'm just like I have no idea what you was doing.
And
Like
then
you have to stay
like
6 feet away
there's
from
this split there's a split second like now that I'm a carrier at the moment, like now that I have it, there was like this slight thought of like stupidity and almost like regret and like I don't know, like I missed out on something. Like if I would, why did I try so hard to stay away when I still got it anyway? I could have just lived my life. You know, like it's like,
Yeah, I feel like
but
you. I feel like you.
it's a slight moment, not to make it sound any kind of way. And I just hope that, we obviously, me and my family get past it healthy. That way, later on I can just kind of play it off like, hey, yeah, hey, all the cool kids are doing it, like, I don't know, but but it is a situation, and honestly, it's more about when you contract the virus, it's more about handling it with care so that you don't pass it on to people you care about. You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, even just like it hits a little bit closer to home. I've known a couple people who've had it before.
mhm,
People I wasn't maybe that close with though. But now that it kind of like you got it, it kind of made me consider like hanging out and going different places. Like I'm a little bit more cautious now because like I've know other people that are close to me too that have got scares. They were around somebody who ended up having it, but they tested
mhm.
negative, things like that. So they kind of got lucky, but it's kind of hitting closer to home now, and it's kind of like, oh, maybe I should take a little bit more caution. Like I've been hanging out with like friends that like, I'm pretty sure are safe. They take their precautions. They wear their masks. They use hella hand sanitizer and stuff like that. But now that it's kind of hitting closer to home, it makes me a little bit more cautious.
And then just to like get a real understanding that it really can just come out of nowhere. We watch a lot of sports and we talk about them on this podcast. So like a lot of these professional athletes, like for instance, I think right now Seth Curry is the recent one. There's other people, who like professional athletes who get it, who they don't even have enough time in a day to like see anybody or like go to like any public places. And for those people to still come down with the virus and then have like contact tracing with other teammates and stuff, it's like, well, we're talking about people who are under strict like restrictions right now, like as people doing what they're
Yeah,
doing. And if those people are contracting, like it's literally like, I don't know, dude, it catches wind in the air and travels or something. Is it airborne like people speculated before? Who knows?
yeah, it's super crazy. I mean, it's crazy to think that there's still people out there who still think that this is like it's a pandemic. It's a conspiracy. Oh, there's such a high survival rate, but it's like, bro, a lot of
Right.
people have still
the
died.
the
People in the
origin
hospital, like,
the origin of how it started is probably the least important topic now. It's the fact that there's people out there who are like, "Oh no, it's fake," as if it doesn't exist at all. But it's like,
yeah,
do you not like, you know what I mean? Like, there's millions of people in the world who have been like, "Oh yeah, I'm in the hospital. Oh yeah, tested this. Yep, I'm coughing. Lost my taste. Lost this." Like, it's not
I've
fake.
only
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
like like people just compare it to the flu, like, oh, it's just like a more terrible flu or so, a little bit worse flu. But it's like I ain't seen the flu put so many people in the hospital like this. Like y'all making it seem like a little thing, and it's like, nah, like the flu don't just be putting people in the hospital left and right.
Now,
You might go to
granted,
the hospital, get some medicine, try to get some, find out something from the
mhm,
doctor real quick, but it ain't putting people in the hospital left and right.
and
Hospitals at max
also
capacity and whatnot.
the flu, like I'm not a medical expert or anything, but the flu, as long as we've known it, has been around, for a long time, hundreds already. You know what I mean? The flu's been around for a long time. So you would think that as humans, we've learned to develop certain antibodies and stuff. And through recreation, maybe that's why it doesn't hit us as hard. So obviously, what
Yeah,
we're experiencing right now is of that kind of, experience. But obviously, we haven't built the type of antibodies or immunity or anything that can really fight it right away. So anything that's new, for people to just come out and say, and obviously social media gives everybody a voice, whether it's ignorant or not, but it just, it's stupid for people to say that it doesn't exist or it's not real, like it's not this, it's not that. Like, just, dude, if you don't have it, just like, thank God you don't, and keep it pushing. You know what I mean? But fighting with other people, trying to convince them that something isn't real because it's not real to them, come on. Like, how old are we? You know what I'm saying? And the fact that people are going like back and forth online, like back and forth online.
yeah, it's super crazy. I mean, even just like it, you talking about going back and forth, I'm kind of having a discussion with somebody that I went to the military with about what's going on with the Capitol, and like they kind of quickly brushed in there like, oh, it has like a 99 point whatever percentage survival rate. And like I don't know, I haven't looked into the statistics myself. I don't know the numbers, so I can't, and I'm not gonna look them up right now. I don't really care that much right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is, like, man, people like you see this is affecting people, famous people, regular people, and for you to just kind of just be like, oh, whatever, and it's like, all right, man, like I hear you, and it's like not
Right.
much really changed besides maybe a couple small businesses closing down. Like people are still doing for the most part what they want to do. I mean, hell, movie theaters were like one of the most biggest impacted things, across the country. So it's like, and maybe schools to a degree, or whatever. But other than that, it's like, what is keeping us indoors? What purpose does that serve? You know what I mean? Like, so
Mm-hmm.
now people just want to do whatever the hell they want whenever they want to. It kind of makes it more like, it kind of makes like I feel like even older people, like you kind of want to be like a little bad kid. Like remember like when you were like 18, 19 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and you wanted to go hang out and party, and everybody's drinking or whatever allegedly. Well, then like once you hit like 21 and you can do it legally, it's like it's not as cool, it's not as fun, like the hype isn't really there. Like, oh, we're gonna go party this weekend and go drink somewhere or something, like, oh, who's gonna get the beers or whatever. And it's like, now that I'm 21, I can just go and buy them, and it's like that part of the the allure is
Like
gone
the
now. And
sensation, exactly.
yeah, so it's like keeping us indoors is just going to make people want to go out and do more stuff because now
Mm-hmm.
we're indoors. So now we're just going to be like, oh, screw it. Fuck the curfew. Fuck, being on lockdown, whatever. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. And then it's going to keep spreading in that sense, So it's like, I don't know, just.
The people that use the survival rate as their leading statistic for as to you guys are overreacting, it's not only is it just insensitive, but it's just, yeah, I just think the people that use the survival rate for the virus as their leading source of information is just really insensitive. And I just feel like if you truly believe that sacrificing, even if you think it's just 1%, you talk about 1% of the world. You know what I'm saying? I
Yes.
don't care if you're just saying, "Oh, okay, well, that's a sacrifice we're willing to make." Blah blah. Well, that's great for you, but not everybody feels that way. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's just I hate when people bring that up. Oh yeah, more people die because of this. More people have done. Yeah, but we're talking about something that's existed for 1 year on this planet and is already doing that number. You're comparing it to stuff that's been around for thousands of years, and then they don't really realize how silly they sound. So for people to
Yeah.
think, yeah, oh yeah, well, it's not like like one out of every 10 bites of like beluga is like deadly or something. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
risk you're willing to take if you want to, bite into that, or puffer fish or whatever it is. There's like foods that'll kill you. But that's your
Yeah.
choice. You're choosing to do that. This is something nobody's choosing. Nobody's choosing to possibly catch a virus that is taking, whatever percentage of people. So for the people who are just saying, "Oh, it's not that big of a deal," or "It's not that," come on, just fucking grow up. Just be a grown up. These people, "Oh, I don't want to wear my mask. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that." Well, did you grow up with like privilege your whole life? Were you the type of person who grew up telling your parents how to parent you? You know what I'm
Literally
saying?
protesting wearing a mask. It's
Don't know how
silly.
to exist in a society, yet you're always pointing your fingers, telling other people they're wrong about this and that. It makes absolutely zero sense. And honestly, there's a lot of people, especially in this country. I won't speak for the entire world, but it's true. But in this country, some people need a stern slap in the fucking face. You know what I'm saying? And once I develop these antibodies, you know what I'm saying, I will willingly hit the streets. You feel me? Where's that mask? Where's that mask? You know what I'm saying? I'm out here. I'm out here.
I had a Karen come up to me and my nephew one time for not wearing our mask, and it was like we were walking by ourselves first of all from my sister's apartment down into the Albertsons by her house, and like before we even walked into the building, like she was standing outside, and then we were both reaching in our pockets to get our mask. Excuse me, put your mask on, put your mask on. And I turned around and gave that lady like the sternest black man look, like, lady, Not right now.
I see that's actually more mature than what I would have did. I'm a fool. I'm the type to just like mock her. Like, excuse me. I would have did it right back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm childish, bro. I get into arguments with toddlers. You know what I mean? So I can't be in public. But yeah, I've been in those situations too. You know what I mean? And they don't even know, like, they don't even know that you're the type of person to like, yeah, I'm gonna put this mask on before I get in here. But while I'm outside with this fresh air, I'm gonna get this breath in before I'm completely constricted of oxygen. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah, shoot. I just went to the store today. Everybody had their mask on, thank God. But like once I got out the store though, I took that shit off immediately though, I'm out here, fresh air, I'm breathing regular,
It really makes me want to invest in one of those the high quality ones that you could just wear, you know what I mean? And they filter the air as it's coming in or whatever.
Oh, I have one of those. My mom actually got one for my birthday last year. It's like a super dope it
Like a
has like a
painter's
little
mask almost.
comes kind of, but it comes with like a little filter, like so like this little like piece that you can like strap to your arm,
Mm.
and it's like a little engine, and it filters the air out for you, and it's like it actually feels really good, like breathing into it, like it because it like it's cycling all like the air and shit, so you don't feel like your air is kind of just getting like I don't know how to really describe that feeling, but it just kind of feels like stale after a while, like I'm like all my breath is getting trapped right here, and I just like it
Mhm.
just it just starts feeling funny after a while. But that like with that, it just always feels fresh all
Oh,
the time, and it's super
definitely.
dope.
And if you're gonna wear your mask all day, do not, God, do not forget to brush your teeth before you leave the house because you will be smelling
Absolutely,
your own joints. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
Like, and you know what? Silver lining, that was probably the biggest lesson of this year. All those people with bad breath and dirty teeth got the hint this year. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
I mean, really, like, really, you know what I mean? The only thing that sucks is, man, one time I sneezed and a booger came out and they got all
Oh
trapped in the. Yeah, we ain't got to go there. You know what I'm saying?
terrible. But speaking of washing your mouth and switching over to watching your mouth, how about President Trump and his Twitter account being deleted, as well as him being banned from Instagram and Facebook,
Bruh,
and apparently his
not.
his Twitch page getting taken down too. So much
Bruh,
happened to him via social media.
multiple handles were blocked.
Yes,
Multiple
yes.
handles.
That's crazy. That's crazy how you can do that to the president. Like,
He tried tweeting from the POTUS account, and it was quickly removed.
Yeah, because he's just making these bit. The thing is, like, yeah, Trump's argument is you're taking away freedom of speech. You're doing this. You're doing that. Like, yeah, we get the argument you're saying, and I guess from one perspective, you may have the slightest stupid point, but who you are, the position you hold, and what you say, and the value it's supposed to have, you're not doing yourself or this country a service. You're
For
you're
sure.
you're looking like an ass. You know what I'm saying? You're misrepresenting what you are supposed to be. It's literally it's just embarrassing, man.
I was
Like,
actually talking to my mom about this, and I have like it's funny. It gives me like a funny feeling, honestly, and it kind of sucks because it's like usually I'm not really for all this nonsense or whatever, right?
mhm,
But it kind of boiled down to this. I had actually posted this on Facebook, I think yesterday, where I asked like, "Hey, what did Trump actually say in regards to this stuff?" Because I saw the 3 tweets that were put out, and they didn't really seem that bad to me. And then somebody pointed out that his wife, I believe, no,
mhm,
was it his wife? No, I think it was
mhm.
his daughter, Ivanka Trump, posted out something like calling the people that the terrorists at the freaking Capitol, calling them like U.S. patriots or whatever, and like
Yeah,
some other stuff, whatever. And I was like, well, that's what she said. But like from what he said, I didn't really think it was that bad. And somebody pointed out like, oh, like he didn't really like, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? He didn't really down talk him or anything like that. You know
condemned
what I
it.
mean? He kind of just like, yeah, condemn it. He just kind of like gave him like a little pat on the wrist, like, hey guys, don't do that.
of
Like
course not.
that
This
was
is
it.
the same guy that
And then
said stand back and stand by. He didn't tell
yeah,
nobody not to do anything evil or this and that. You know what I mean? Like he's telling people n- not to do something, but in a way where it's like y'all know to do this, right? Like that's exactly how it's like a creepy movie.
so that's kind of where I was like, it gives me a funny feeling because it's like, dang, from the stuff that he's already said in the past, like the biggest example of all is when the looting shot starts, the shooting starts. Why does it take him kind of responding to this nonsense that happened in the Capitol in a very kind of like, you know, not serious way, I guess you
Mm-hmm.
could say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because like he didn't condemn it, but like he was like nonchalant about it, really. You know, it wasn't like a big deal or whatever to him. So why does it take that? Why does it take those tweets versus the other tweets for his account to be suspended or deleted? How was that? How was when the looting starts, the shooting starts? How was that not taken as like a public threat? How was that not taken
Exactly.
as like inciting violence? Why
Exactly.
is it now like it feels like to me, and it's unfortunate because I feel like any old Trump supporter that has this idea, or probably many of them do, probably have the same idea. Like Twitter and all those other social media accounts or whatever, they're just adding fuel to the flames for the drama. You know what I mean? Like they don't really
Exactly.
care. They just want to silence him, and it just kind of looks bad. And it's like you can use it against or for the argument, and it's just like, oh my god, everything is such a fucking
That's
mess,
why
bro.
that's why I think, because social media is such a wide open platform where people can take advantage of it and manipulate thoughts. I think that at least for our country, um, politicians and government officials should not be allowed to use social media handles for open speech, simply because you're talking about a place of millions of people who are ran essentially, even by elect or not, whatever you choose to believe or not believe. Millions of people are being, controlled or outlawed by a handful of people. So
They're
when
literally
you trust,
following somebody. You're
yeah,
following somebody when you're on Twitter. You
when
know,
you've been entrusted with numerous lives, like numerous lives, what makes you think that you speaking freely, like, do you not have, like, there's no sense, like, maybe I should think about what I'm saying because I don't want to offend half the people I represent. Like,
yeah.
fucking stop.
I feel well.
Just stop.
I personally feel like for the first half of that question, where you were saying why is the old stuff not being taken down, but the newer stuff is, I believe that they were slowly blocking his stuff as the election was going on and on. Once this whole Biden is the new president thing happened, I feel like they got the more gall, the unmitigated gall, to come by and just block him completely and kick him off now, because I've been slowly seeing a lot more news media outlets not calling him President Trump anymore. They're just calling him Trump, and that the slow decline of the respect of the office of the president. Like I was saying earlier, like he's still the president. People being flying off the handle of at him at media at the media questionnaires and stuff like that. So I feel like once this whole election went down, they were just like, now we have the gall, now we have the guts to just go ahead and fully block him no matter what he says, because what's he gonna say about it? We already have our new president here. We already have our new guy that's gonna back us no matter what anyway. He's only got a few days. His days are numbered and all that. Let's
But
just
you
block
know
him.
what? I think there's a human side to that, and that's simple as this: treat people the way you want to be treated. Since when did Donald Trump really give people like respect? I mean, even in public forums. I mean, come on, he has a woman who looks Asian, asking questions about stuff and this and that. He's like, why don't you go ask China? Ask China. Like, it's like, bro, like you're just an asshole. So honestly, even though he's in a position of power, it's just like work. It's just, you ever have a manager who's just like out of pocket, and you're like, bro, if he or she tells me something one more time like that, I'm gonna speak up and fuck your feelings. That's exactly. But it's like, I don't care if you're the president, you run shit around here, I guess so. But if you don't earn respect, why am I just gonna hand it to you? I'm sorry, bro. It just don't work that way. At the end of the day, we're still
Facts.
people. We're still people. I don't care about your position. We're still people, and I'm gonna treat you the way you deserve to be treated. And some people just get away with stuff too long. I feel like too many Americans have just like went with the status quo and allow things to happen. And people just insist that we have to have respect for one another. But to be honest, when you have a leader that doesn't show respect all the time, fuck his feelings. Give a fuck. If I owned a social media platform, I would have been blocked him a long time ago, along with Tommy Loren and all them other fucking idiots.
Well, that's why he didn't
Excuse.
really have a leg to stand on as far as being blocked, because those are private entities. Those aren't owned by the government, anything like that. So I mean, you gave them their own power to be able to run their own business the way that they can, and
Okay.
they reserve the right to refuse service to anyone, and that includes you. So he doesn't,
Yep.
Bingo.
by his own
Yep.
constitution, by his own
Yep.
constitutional law and everything like that. You can't really say nothing
And that
about it.
and at the end of the day, you talking about private owned companies. If you were so big and bad, you would have never needed Twitter in the first place if that's how you really feel. So don't sit here and complain about it. If you think your voice is so strong, why do you need to go to a company owned, by and then obviously every time something doesn't go his way, he goes and trashes it. So the Twitter, the outlet that you use to get all your people together, all your support, spill out your ideas, badmouth other candidates and stuff like that. It was so good for you while it was going, but now that you just look like you made an ass of yourself, now you're just gonna trash the same, the same social media outlet that gave you, a big head. You know what I mean? So it's just like, love me while I'm here and hate me when I'm gone type of thing. And to be honest, has Trump ever been any different? No, bro. You're
Negative.
just out of pocket, bro. Just out of pocket. You don't deserve to be on there. Other people get blocked on Twitter for other things as well. Stuff much less important than what Trump be talking about. But we're not finna let you sit up here and badmouth half the country all the time. I'm sorry, bro. It just don't work that way.
Yeah, I was actually talking to my mom about like being over the whole like Democrat and Republican thing, and then just like making like the human party. Like I don't even want it to be a party. I feel like we need to stop like all the lines in the sand that we keep drawing. Republican, Democrat, police, people, BLM, ALM, white, black, and so on and so forth. Like
Mhm.
there's just so many lines in the sand, and I feel like we need to kind of get rid of that so that we kind of have like we need to start treating each other like people again, and like we're humans voting for another human. That's
Mhm.
what it comes down to.
And you know what
It
else?
should be more about.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I was
Oh, I was
just
just gonna say
yeah.
it should be more. It should be more about voting for somebody who like kind of fits more in line with like your morals or like your the guidelines that you want to see happen, whether it be business, spiritual, education, I don't know, whatever the heck you have in mind, versus like,
Mhm.
oh, this guy's a Republican, I'm a Republican, I'm gonna vote for him, or this guy's a Democrat, I'm a Democrat, I'm gonna vote for them. It shouldn't be like that, because
Mm-mm.
we're getting to the point, and we've been at this point for a long time, where just because somebody has the label of Democrat or Republican, they're met with all kinds of stigmas from the
Mhm.
opposite side, and it's just like, why do we continue to do this to ourselves? I don't
Because
understand why we keep
yeah,
doing this to
exactly. And at the end
ourselves.
of the day, whatever political side you quote unquote choose, those are still just ideas. Ideas get outdated all the time. I mean, ask any modern era inventor. I had an idea to do this, but times are changing and nobody needs these no more. Let me switch up my ideas to innovate in this area. And that's the problem with politics. These people are stuck on old ass values and ideas. And if you bring something new that's relevant to present day society, all the old heads and all the stubborn people think that you're just saying, oh no, we're hippies, we're new, we don't like this, we don't. No, it's like, bro, you need to adjust your ideas too. You know what I'm saying? If you're stagnant, our entire position as people is stagnant. You know what I mean? And it's too many people bickering back and forth. I honestly I hate the Republican slash Democrat stuff. Like I'm over it, bro. I'm with you. The human the human race needs to win for once. And I think there's some tough decisions that are coming up that I don't know if a lot of people in America are ready to deal with. But think about this. There's millions of people that are not born in the United States who make life choices wherever they're from, who make life choices and know that there's 170 something countries on Earth, something like that, 200 and something. I don't know. Look, I forgot.
Sounds about right. Sounds
Right?
about right.
It's somewhere right there, almost 200. Um, so there's some people and some families who are just like, well, if we move, let's weigh our options. There's these countries that have these type of rules, these countries that have these type of rules, filter down. Now, how do these governments treat their people? Because everywhere you go, there's positives and negatives. But I think in the United States, we're coming to a point where it's like, are people who are from America scared to leave? And why? You know what I mean? Because we say that we're free here, or is it just that we're too stubborn to change the sacrifices that we're making to exist as people? Because
Trapped
honestly,
here.
honestly, the way stuff is going on right now here, I know a lot of people who would feel blessed and so much happier in Mexico just because of the kind of laws, how much it costs. And I know they're talking about, oh, it's crazy, police or this and that. Go give it a fucking try. You got just the goodest chances dying in America doing stupid shit. You know what I mean? And I'm not telling people just to up and leave, but what I'm saying is obviously our country can't get it together. You know what I'm saying? And don't think that you just have to sit here and put up with it. You know what I mean? But those are just things I encourage people moving forward to really think
The
about.
problem is with your point is the people that are in America that are complaining, they wouldn't be able to. They're the amenities that America gives people
Mm-hmm.
keeps
The
everybody
sacrifice.
so damn pacified. If people were to go
Mm-hmm.
like how I used to say when I used to live in the woods and everything like that, like living without a bed, living without a shower, living without in these quote unquote third world countries, like how we were talking about last podcast and all that. These companies that don't have these luxuries that we do, put Americans in those
Mm-hmm.
same situations, bro. We're going dead crazy, and I feel like that's why so many people that are complaining that want to leave don't leave because they already know subconsciously in the back of their mind they're like, I'm not gonna have my hot running water. I'm not gonna have my Starbucks coffee every morning because I'm gonna have to go walk 2 miles to get some water, most likely in
Yep.
some of these areas. So that's why in America, the people that are running this country know that they're like, you're not gonna get anything close to what we have anywhere
Mm-hmm.
else. You're stuck here. Listen to our rules and do what we say, or else you can go try it somewhere
Agreed.
else.
Exactly. And they use a lot of those physical items and like things like you said, oh my Starbucks, my this, all those things that create comfort, those are creating like a false sense of you like mental peace. You know what I mean? Like you think that you're happier this way or you think that this is comfort because you have these things that like you said they're luxuries. But until you've been stripped of things that actually matter, I could give a fuck about some Starbucks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
I
yeah,
hate Starbucks.
bro, exactly. Come on, bro. I'm telling you. Before I worked in the office, I'm not really like a coffee person like that, but I have dabbled now. But before I knew anything about coffee, and I was like, something sweet sounds a little different right now. I would go to Starbucks every now and then, maybe not by myself. You know, I've had girlfriends or whatever. Get you a little vanilla bean or something that's just kind of bougie, but it kind of tastes sweet. And then I go to work in the office and I'm like, dang, I'm getting tired. I need some coffee because, you're staring at a screen and all this. So you start making coffee and you're like, oh, it's starting to taste really good. And you do that for a couple weeks. Then you go to a Starbucks and you order kind of like what you've been making at yourself. And you're like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And it's like, this is what people have been dying for this whole
Flint
time.
water in a
So
cup.
it's just, yeah, bro, like what the fuck is this? So I get what you're saying, but it goes back to what I was saying too is people are too stubborn to choose what to sacrifice for actual peace of mind. They're just creating a false sense of peace of mind with these little luxuries that we think is being free in America. But it don't mean nothing. That stuff don't mean nothing. We need a real ass reality check. And unfortunately, even something like a worldwide pandemic didn't do it. Cannot believe
Yeah,
it.
for real. Real quick, a lot of those guys didn't have masks on. Now that I think about it, too, the people that stormed the
Oh,
Capitol.
that's
But I
that's
just
that,
kind of
that's
wanted
my
to.
idea. That, that,
Sorry.
that, that was my conspiracy brain that I wanted to bring up real quick. I, I,
Dun, dun, dun. Welcome back to Daniel's Conspiracy Corner.
how do we know those were actual Trump supporters? How do we know they weren't just the left
That
wearing Trump
has
hats?
been a conspiracy that's been brought up by that
Well,
side, saying, "Do they look like Trump supporters?"
a few comments.
Supposedly, Trump supporters are a bunch of racists with ARs. I don't see many guns on those people. Stuff like that. It's out in the air. It's people are thinking
Mhm.
about it and talking about it.
Well, come on, let's keep it real. Let's keep it very. I know, like over speculating and grouping people together is a tad bit on the ignorant side. I know that there's been the other side who have done the same. Just like the race issues in America. If a white person says, "Oh, all black people are like this because one black person did something," you're grouping. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
let's keep it real. That morning, Trump went on television and said, we're going to storm the Capitol. We're going to do this. We're not going to stop fighting till this and that. And the people who eat it up clearly went because why? because they were listening to their leader. Like let's not beat around the bush with this one. And also, I've been paying very close attention. There's probably like 20 people in that group that they zeroed in on and looked up their life, especially like there was that woman that got shot and died. They
From
went
San
back into
Diego.
her, yeah, no, Lakeside. Stop it. They went back. And remember when I kind of told a joke and I said she's probably from Santee, and people from San Diego know that Santee we call Clan T for a reason. Where
Yeah.
where is that?
Right next to
Lakeside, right? So
planting.
yeah, yeah, ain't even trying to hear it. Spot on already. So
Oh
if you want to say
shit.
that I'm kind of ignorant for stereotyping, guess what? I was right, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So let's just, but they did like a search into these people's history. The guy that was sitting at the desk in Pelosi's desk with his feet up.
I
The
actually
other
have something real quick to add about
Go ahead.
that. Josh had sent me a post earlier. Shout out to Josh, friend of the pod. He sent me a post that
Which
said
Josh?
Richard Josh Zamora. Richard Barnett, who was photographed on Wednesday with his feet on Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi's desk, was arrested. And it's funny because you realize a lot of you guys were showing your face and all over stealing stuff. Obviously not being where you're supposed to be in the Capitol building. So a lot of these guys are going to get caught up and cracked down on, and it's like it's just funny. It's just kind of funny when you think about it because it's like you're doing all this stuff and you're like, oh, let's take pictures, let's show us breaking the law. We're being like we're not supposed to be in here, but we're in here. It's like, are you stupid?
Right.
Are you
Well, the
stupid?
well, the premise of what I was saying was underneath what Daniel was saying. He said, "Or are we sure that they were all Trump supporters?" What I'm saying is the majority of the people that were there. Now, I don't care. I don't care if you were pretending in that moment. If you are wearing uh, a Trump pin, a MAGA hat, waving a Trump flag, what does that make you in that moment? You're a Trump supporter. And not only that, they went back into those people's socials, the lady that got shot, the people in there. You go to their socials, they're ranting on and on about how this country's not right and pro Trump and pro this. So I get like you might say, do we really know? Let's keep it real. They were. They
Yeah,
were
this
because
attack.
nobody else was going. And it's just like over the last 2 years that we've had with social injustice and racism and all the things that Trump supporters have said online about Mexicans, black folks, Asians, whoever. Literally, so many things happened when they stormed the Capitol that was just like, bruh, isn't that ironic as fuck? Like, y'all talked about Mexico and talked about Trump building a wall. They showed videos of white people climbing this wall
A
to get
wall ain't
over
going
to
for
the.
nothing.
And then check this out. There's reports now, and I guess there's going to be pictures soon that some of those people were defecating inside and smearing their shit on the walls. Like who? Like what? Like monkeys, right? Which is one of the terms that they used for the Black Lives Matter protest, right? That's another one. So I ain't trying to hear were they this, were they that, bro. The few hundred people that was there, they would not be there if they was not backing Trump, except for the young black homie in there trying to get his stimmy check.
He
And
was
you
there for
and
the
he went
stimmy.
and
He
he
was
went
there trying to get the
online.
stimmy.
He went online and posted a picture of himself in his story. He's like, bro, I'm just here for my
Oh my
stimulus. So
god.
he's just one of those like, let me just troll the moment type of people. So I'm, whatever. But it's crazy because everybody said, oh, there must have been a joke. He must have been there for a stimulus, and that's exactly the joke he was trying to tell. So
Can you imagine showing up that day? Just be like, I'm gonna take a tour, just walk around real quick. Yo, what is happening behind me? I'm not part of this.
I mean, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. The Capitol's in DC, right?
Yeah.
That's probably the most white people you ever seen in DC.
Bro, I seen there's like a picture going around of like this black woman, and she's like, "Don't worry, we're off in a room by ourselves. We're safe. Don't worry." And it was like a room of just black people. It was like 5 black people, and then it was just funny because it's like all the white people going crazy, causing all kinds of chaos outside, and this group of random black people are in a room safe and like just chilling, being super normal. But man, I also want to give a shout out to Tony Baker because he has been providing some
Bruh.
premium content from this whole this whole debacle.
Oh,
Oh my god,
comedians gonna stay on top of it because
cashing
they see
in,
the
bro.
irony in it. They create the narratives in it.
Even on the other side, shout out to Kev on stage too. He said somebody was like, "I'm sure I ain't seen no tear gas or rubber bullets," and he's been like on this like thing of like, "It's for black people anyway." It's from like a clip of one of his skits. And like somebody put like, "Oh, I don't really see no tear gas rubber bullets going on or whatever," and then right after that it was, "It's for black people anyway." And I was just like, "Bro, like this is crazy, bro. It's just nonsense."
Mm-hmm.
And like it was so crazy to see the them barricading the doors and like just pistols drawn, aiming at the doors for whoever comes in. People trying to run out of there. They even took a photo and low key. This kind of adds to the conspiracy just a tad bit. They said that they secured the votes, the ballots, and all that stuff. Why the fuck was there a picture of that? Why would that don't get me wrong, it's somewhat of an important thing, but from what Gilbert has explained to me, who is way more involved in politics than I am, the matter was already everything's already been tallied up and counted and voted.
Yeah.
The what was being presented is simply a formality or whatever, right? So what purpose did taking a picture of those like votes secured or whatever, tied up with the things like, oh, they got them out of there? What did that really serve? What did that
exactly?
You could have just said that like, oh, like don't worry, the votes are done, or it's not a big deal, like we already know the count anyway or whatever, right? Yep. Versus like, oh, hey guys, just so you know, these votes are secured or whatever. Then that was a little weird. It definitely was a little weird for sure. But yeah, I mean, that building ain't been stormed since the British. I mean, it's a pretty important government building where a lot of government proceedings happen. It's not like some random prison building or something, or just a random building with like some government officials in there or something like for like nonsense or whatever, like a hangout spot or whatever. It's like serious government business going on that we see on CNN and on whatever other channels all the time consistently. They're passing some kind of, talking about we're going to do this, we're going to do that, the inside of that place is on the news all the freaking time. And people just marched in like it was nobody's business.
And the crazy part, it's not even on American soil. All that crap happened on. That's pretty much a foreign war, what you just saw right there. That's pretty crazy.
the whole experience is so wild, and how like people from the other side have been comparing it to like all like the other protests and then like kind of generalizing the term.
We know what that is. We don't even need to go into that direction.
It is rough, like even kind of associating with some people, just because you're just like, dude, like I've always kind of been the one that's like, I don't want to just delete people because I feel like that just shows me I lost. But at the same time, I'm just like, and at the same time, I don't. But at the same time, I don't want to be in a bubble either. I don't want to be in a bubble where like my thoughts are just kind of the same thoughts are just bouncing in a circle, all the time. It's like everybody that I know on there, we all have the same thoughts and the same consensus. And it's like, I do like to see what other people have to say, what other people think, or what other people's thought processes are. It also helps. Intriguing to me.
Yeah. That having that contrast of idea also helps confirm and give you some more confidence as a person, because understanding that because you don't agree with how somebody thinks, the important part isn't that you agree. Sometimes the important part is mentally knowing that you're not the only person that feels that way. So it helps you deal with that a lot, moving forward, which is probably, like I said, it builds this sense of confidence underneath the shell of you as a person. So that if somebody else is speaking like that, you might already have had time to consider things like rebuttals or sharing knowledge or sharing experience. You know what I'm saying? So it's not always about getting along, but it is about respect. So if somebody does something that draws lines, even if you don't agree with it, you got to know that freeing that from your space is good for your soul too. So it's a balance. It's a little give and take, but I totally get what you're saying. I definitely still have people on my platforms or somewhat close to me, not in my tight circle, but who definitely have contrasting ideas and emotions about everything that's going on. And I agree. I think cutting everybody off like that probably just isn't the best for I just like progression. You know what I mean?
Got to be able to talk to people even if they have different ideas or ideologies, man. Just as long as nobody's on like some heinous or evil ass shit, we can always talk, we can disagree, we can debate. It's all there. It's all
Oh.
good. You know. Wow. Okay. All right. All right, Tyler. Um, but yeah, man, that whole situation was super crazy, and you know something else that was funny too. I remember we're sitting there, and I'm actually playing Smite with the guys, you know, on PlayStation, and I'm thinking to myself like every time I look at my phone at some point, it's like you know some more of the nonsense that's going on or whatever. Something about either pertaining to the U.S. Capitol being attacked or stormed and or Trump. And then I'm just sitting there thinking like, man, this stuff is like legitimately going to be in history books. We've been living through a lot of historical things, and I'm sitting here playing video games like, yo, you got to go on the left. And then like, but damn, this stuff that's happening on the U.S. Capitol is crazy. But yo, how come nobody said that the middle is missing? You know, it's so
Ain't shit you can do about
in
it. You know?
yeah, there's nothing you can do about it, and it almost seems insignificant, but at the same time, it is so important and a historical moment. It has so much weight, but at the same time, it's nothing. And it also kind of led me to the thought of like, man, the internet, we make the internet itself makes things seem so
Fucking joke.
stupid and a
Mhm.
joke, and it's like we do not give a fuck about anything, bro. Like nothing is sacred, nothing is serious ever. It's like it's news and then comments, nothing but jokes, cracking jokes, cracking jokes, cracking jokes. Then you got everybody else spreading memes, you know, making everything a joke, making everything funny. And it's like, damn, dude, it's like, bro, like even the lady, like, rest in peace to the woman that was shot. Nobody deserves to have their life taken from them. But the joke about something about like I don't care about pistols or whatever, the bullets ain't gonna stop us or whatever. You know, it's like one picture, and on the bottom it's like the picture of Michael Jordan from the freaking what is it, the Last Dance documentary, but
Mhm.
a bullet for his head, and the bullet going like, and I took that personally, and it's
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, like this is like this shouldn't be funny. It is funny. I ain't gonna lie. I laugh for
But
sure.
don't you also kind of
But
see that maybe it's because there's just like this giant cloud of depression over our entire society, and maybe jokes is the only way we know how to really cope and feel like I don't want to get into no deep discussions, so let me just laugh this off real
Man,
quick.
I could see myself. I can see myself making a joke out of it, just to make myself laugh at my way out of it. I'd show up with a Washington Bullets jersey, anyway, and then
The DC Bullets, my guy's on it. Yo.
let me
Sheesh.
let me give you a.
But I kind of want to know though
Man,
which one of these, like, since you were talking about video games, do you think any of these video games are actually like capitalize on this situation? Like they'll make a map and it'll be the Capitol building or something like that, or they'll have some type of element.
You can. I'm I'm pretty sure you can visit the Capitol building in Division Two. Division is like a. It's actually kind of interesting because the division is about the country falling apart due to some kind of global pandemic. So
well, that's
it's
not
intriguing.
relatable. Stupid.
Sweet home, huh?
Yeah, that the Division One came out in like the Division One came out in like 2015 or 16, and then Division Two came out in 2000. I want to say 18, and yeah, it's about the aftermath of a pandemic, and like technology is kind of interesting. Everything is like pretty much everything is it's always violence. People are trying to scavenge whatever they can to survive and stuff like that. It's crazy, man. It's super
But
crazy.
did y'all hear that ASAP Rocky and Jay Electronica are seeing each other?
You mean
No,
Rihanna
no, 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 no. Those two, Jay Electronica and ASAP Rocky. It's confirmed.
are seeing
It's
each other?
confirmed. That's just
You
not.
you oh my god, he's doing the fucking bit.
I'm transitioning
Bruh.
here.
We had
Oh, are
we
we doing?
remember
Are we?
we had a conversation.
I totally
We had a
forgot.
conversation
I was
yesterday.
lost. I was dead ass lost.
Oh my god, you got me so fucked up right now, Daniel. God, we had a conversation yesterday because of this whole. Are we going into? Are we going into Hollywood right now? Okay, fuck it.
I guess so. We ain't really got
Okay,
much else to talk about.
so
So
the story goes, um, Kim and Kanye. Oh God, I can't believe we're talking about this. Kim and Kanye are getting divorced. Again, I guess you know what I mean. Like it's just rumors again, and they're
yeah,
saying that Kanye's messing around with some. I forgot the dude's name.
Jeffree Star.
Okay, this dude named Jeffree Star, who's like I don't know exactly what he identifies as, but he's a dude that wears a lot of makeup and wigs like a woman. Um, I don't know if that's his thing or if he's a dude. Like, I'm not really sure. Like, is he gay, but he dressed up like a, or is he
I
trans?
think I think he's trans, if I'm not
Okay,
mistaken. I
okay.
know he's interested in men though too.
So the
So I
rumor
don't
is
know.
that Kanye is pretty much had an affair with this dude, and he also owns a ranch in Wyoming, and he also has a house in Hollywood or Calabasas or something. So it's like a lot of weird little
Calabasas.
things, a lot of weird little situations that are pointing to, oh yeah, this is dead on right, and him being a fucking clout chaser. Which I've learned a lot about in the last 24 hours is just kind
Yes,
of like going
sir.
along with it, just kind of like feeding social media the idea where it's like, whether it's true or not, if you're giving me attention, I'm gonna take it, you
Yeah.
know
He
so
tweeted something like I'm ready for Sunday service. And it
right
was like,
so
bro, like
so
what?
we had a bit of a deep convo about, well, clearly attention is the winner of this society, because whether you love it or hate it, it's still an obsession. And when you talk about something, it creates numbers. And on social media, that's how people, rise to their fame and they get big headed. So obviously, even if it's totally a lie, this dude was gonna grasp the opportunity to take that attention and to essentially build his brand the same way he's been doing. So I was like, let's just start saying crazy shit and get some clout for the show. So Daniel came in here and said some outrageous shit that me and Brad caught us off guard. Like, what are you talking
I
about?
was like,
And
yeah, I was like, what?
realized it was connected to our conversation about how people can go on social media and just say anything, and if they have a platform big enough, the masses are just gonna eat it up. So we'll see if this gets big. I'm happy for ASAP and Jay. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy
I
for.
wonder. I wonder. You know how like so like there's that obviously like affair or dating rumors and stuff like that, and then we also have like the whole death conspiracy or whatever. I wonder when people are going to start saying, "Oh, such and such is alive," like not like a conspiracy, but like this person that everybody knows is dead. Like, nah,
Yeah,
I just seen him walking around
they
the corner the other
already
day.
told
He
us
came back to
somebody's
life. They
still
they
alive.
brought him.
Nobody
They
believed her.
they brought no, not still, not still alive. I'm talking about back from the dead. No, they brought him back from the dead the other day.
They just told you that.
Michael Jackson walking
They
around right now. They just brought
Kamala
him back.
Harris said her favorite rapper that's alive today is Tupac. They just told you they brought that
Oh
nigga
my
Oh
back.
my
god.
god.
Man, that's really what they
she
gave us
make
to try to fit in with the culture. That's
she
crazy.
she make Barack look like Morris Chestnut. You know what I'm saying? If you catch that one, you know what I'm saying? If y'all count that one. But yeah, she is
Brian Gumbo looked like
totally,
Malcolm X.
yeah. Jesus. You could tell she only puts a pinch of salt in her gumbo, you know what I'm saying?
Oh god, that probably tastes awful. Jesus Christ. Um, we don't really got to get into the music. We'll save that for the next one. I wanted to do like a top albums of 2020. I don't want to do like a big old like concentrated episode like we did before, but I want to kind of like rattle them off. And I don't want to give you guys no kind of limit. I just want y'all to shoot for it and then give your overall album of the year that you think it is. And then we'll just kind of like give our little list, maybe what we
Mhm.
liked about the albums real quick, and then just bam, here's our album of the year, da da da, and be done with it. Because so we can talk about other stuff. But I don't really have anything else for the docket. But I know you guys had a little bit of sports conversations you guys were having. I don't know if you guys want to go ahead and leave that off, and then we'll end it after that.
Well, let me open up my
You got
phone.
anything, Daniel?
So, well, wait a minute. I was know we was going to talk about this.
Well, I know you said somebody passed away. I know, Joey.
Anything on your oh he's a baseball legend, Tommy Lasorda. He lived a full life though. I believe they said he was 93. It's kind of
Damn,
it's a definitely a big passing in the baseball community, so rest in peace to him. Um I mean there's been a lot lately, you know what I mean? But he lived a full life,
for sure.
you know. Nothing else really. I mean, there's been a lot of drama and a bunch of BS going on, but when is it now?
Steph Curry dropping 62,
I
no
don't
big
want to hear
deal.
about that. Stop it.
You know,
Man.
Do you not
No,
like him or
he's
what?
cool, but I had a choice of who to keep in my fantasy league between him and somebody else. I picked the other person, and now he going off for 60.
Who was the other
His name was
person?
Nikolai Vucevic, and was he's my favorite center.
center. Yeah.
Does that Joey from your knowledge of sports, did that make sense to
It just
take?
It's situational. You talking about fantasy sports? It depends on the settings of the league, but
Okay.
yeah, no, I mean, the NFL season has now the regular season has come to a conclusion. This is actually what's today, the 8th, January 8th.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow we have three um playoff games and three playoff games on Sunday. So the first round of playoffs is starting, which everybody knows is when sports really start, is the playoffs. So the regular season now totally insignificant. This is when the real season starts. So I'm looking forward to the next handful of weeks. um, what else? Baseball got some exciting news. You know, I'm a homer, so San Diego Padres made some huge signings that's really gonna hopefully, punch a big hole to the MLB and make some noise, because I think San Diego needs a championship, because it's definitely a city full of losers, man. The Chargers were here, didn't win squat. The Clippers were here, they didn't win squat. I know they're in LA now, but kind of originated in San Diego. They haven't won squat, and the Padres haven't won squat. You know what I mean? So it's just a city full of losers, and we just need something to be happy about for once. And I think the Padres are actually making effort to change that. You know what I mean? So good
Do
for
you know all the teams that are in the playoffs right now?
The only ones that matter is only like four. Let's be honest here.
Did
It's
Washington get into the playoffs at 7-9? Did
bruh.
that really happen?
Yes. Okay, so the Colts play at the Bills tomorrow. The Rams play the Seahawks. Buccaneers play Washington football team. And that's 3 tomorrow. And on Sunday, Ravens at the Titans, Bears at the Saints, and Browns at the Steelers. So those
I
are
kind of
those
want the
are the
Browns to win that game.
Those are the 12 teams, and then we have two teams on a bye right now, the one seeds. We have the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC and the Green Bay Packers in the NFC. So that makes 14 teams, and we'll
Shit.
see. That means the Super Bowl is set for somewhere between February 3rd and February 9th. They're saying in between because of the COVID protocols. You just never know when you're going to have to push something back. So,
Yeah.
you know, who knows? So about a month until we're talking Super Bowl, and then we'll see what life is like with smaller Super Bowl parties,
What smaller Super Bowl parties?
right?
What teams you guys like in the Super Bowl, and who do you guys think will take it?
It's a toss up in the
I got
NFC
I
for
got
me.
the Packers. I got the Packers coming out the NFC. I don't like the Buccaneers to hold strong like that, even though they have Tom Brady still. The Seahawks defense been playing like ass all year. Even though they're 12-4, it's a soft 12-4. The AFC is kind of a toss up. No idea.
I've narrowed it down to four teams on my side, between the Bills and the Chiefs and Packers and the Buccaneers. Out of those four, I'd like to see a random team win it. I'd like to see the Bills just come out of nowhere, just be like and win it, and get Josh Allen WYO his first Super Bowl at a young age, just like Patrick Mahomes. But I'm all a fan of an underdog getting in there and random teams winning. So I'm rooting for the Bills to go in there, and they have a bunch of my old Panther players.
I actually placed a $20 bet on the Washington football team to beat the Buccaneers tomorrow.
Ooh,
I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna win. I just know that the Washington football team's defensive line is probably the best in the playoffs, even for a 7-9 team with a rookie stud coming off the edge. And against Tom Brady,
He,
the only years that we've seen Tom Brady collapse in the playoffs are when he's on the floor, pretty much. Where you've seen him, Daniel, where it's like a long play or whatever, to try to keep the game going, and he gets sacked and he's like sitting on the
yeah.
ground. You know what I mean? If you can bring that man pressure, you got a chance. And I know they have a lot of weapons on offense, but we'll see. Washington, the Washington football team, since like week 7, has only allowed a total of 44 points in the second half since week 7. Yeah, That's a lot, exactly. So you're talking about a Ron Rivera coach defense that makes adjustments at halftime that just don't let
But
people
let's be
score.
honest,
You know what I
half of
mean?
those
So
games from
we'll
Week
see.
7 were from the NFC East teams. So you're talking, so you're talking about Cowboys,
I'm,
Eagles,
I'm,
and
I'm,
Giants.
I will agree. Look, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna agree with you. And even though the talent that they're facing might not have been as high for those division games, you can't fake coaching. Like just to say that you've been shutting people down in the second halves, that's all defensive mind right there. So we'll see. I don't know.
Daniel, did you give your two teams or no?
He kind of gave his
I
four.
gave the four that I'm looking at, and then the one team that I'm really rooting for, which is the Bills. I want the Bills to win. If anybody gonna win, I want the Bills to do it.
I
But
kind
who do you
of
who do you think
Oh
will
my God,
win?
that's a toss up.
I kind of want to see. I got my picks for the Super Bowl. I want to see the Chiefs and the Packers. Now, I don't want to see the Chiefs, but the better side of my judgment is telling me. I
Patrick
know.
Mahomes, the truth.
Just no, Kansas City overall weaponry is just too deep. And even if they're shut out we saw it last year in the playoffs. Even if they're losing or getting shut out at halftime, there's just this switch that they hit where it's like, bro, you can't lock us down all game. You know what I mean?
Patrick Mahomes.
So yeah, I like the Chiefs versus the Packers, and I kind of want the Packers to win. And it's only because I know people try to hand over this big old trophy of you're the best in the game thing to Mahomes right now, but I think Rodgers has this big ass chip on his shoulder when the Packers drafted a quarterback last year. And I think it would be the perfect story. And I know I'm never really a story seeker, but I think it would be a really great story if Aaron Rodgers was to go through all that. They never drafted a weapon on offense. They didn't address nothing on defense. The defense just ended up sacking up this year and playing a little better. I think if those two teams met in the Super Bowl and old man Rodgers won, I think it would humble the Chiefs a little bit and give a little bit more like a evenness to the league where it's like, yeah, the Chiefs are great, but they
And
still
that's
lost.
and that's the
You know what I
one
mean?
quarterback.
I
That's the
think it's
one
good.
quarterback Patrick Mahomes has been compared to his whole career to is Aaron Rodgers. They're like he's got the arm like that.
The only thing I
I would
don't
love to see him get a second ring.
The only thing I don't like, like I love Aaron Rodgers. Don't get me wrong. I used to not like him so much, but I do like Aaron Rodgers. The only thing I don't like about him winning so much, which I like to see though, the only thing I don't like about him winning is I gotta fucking listen to Stephen A. talk about that's a bad man all over ESPN every day for the next few months. Like, bro, I'm over it, bro. Like,
But I
geez, Stephen A. always got something to
nah,
say.
but he's saying that. But then as soon as the Packers win, Joey gonna be the first one sending TikTok videos talking about discount double check is back.
I just honestly, Aaron Rodgers is I think he's 36,
36.
37 maybe. I've never thought I would see a dude like better than Breeze, better than Tom Brady. All those guys at the age 36, 37, them guys was not touching Aaron Rodgers. Not with and they had better like let's keep it real. They had better weapons than Rodgers up until now. Now he's got his receiver, but and he had Mike McCarthy as a head coach. That dude's a bum. You see what he's doing with Dallas? That dude's a bum. Get him out of here. Dude's a stooge. You know what I mean? So I'm just kind of pulling for Aaron Rodgers because I feel like he gets a little bit of a bad rap as not one of the. Let's keep it real. I love Peyton Manning. That was my guy growing up.
That was my
You know what I
favorite
mean?
player
One of,
ever.
one of the reasons why I used to really want to play quarterback and liked playing football and kind of thinking and reading the defense.
One of the reasons why I watched football.
Yeah, Peyton Manning couldn't fucking light a candle to Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. like just with his talent level, maybe mentally and a few better teams or whatever, but quarterback play, we're talking individual talent. Rodgers is up there, man. Rodgers is really up there, and I think it'd be a damn shame if he were to just walk away with the game with only one ring.
It would be pretty cool to see Aaron get his second ring. It'd be even cooler if he retired right after that. Like, fuck you guys, and I'm out. I want a ring and watch this team fall apart.
That's the thing, though. I don't think so. Rodgers got like 4 or 5 years left in him. I mean, Brady's 43 right
Probably.
now. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like no great quarterback really leaves the game before like 39, 40 at the most. You know,
It's
like
just it's so impressive
Tom
now.
Brady, Andrew Brees. You know,
It's just so impressive now because when you say this 10, 15, 20 years ago, well, more than 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you talk about old quarterbacks. Yeah, they're keeping up with the guys who are on defense. But let's keep it real. From the year 2000 to the year 2020, you see how big all these guys are? I mean, you see how big these kids in high school are? You know what I mean? Like these are grown ass men are 16 years old now. Like these
With some
kids are
corn-fed brothers,
monsters.
I'll tell you
You know what I
that.
mean? And you talking about the biggest and fastest and the strongest people are still developing year to year. So the the athletic level of all these professional sports right now, we're only scratching the surface. You know what I'm saying? So as time goes on and guys get even more athletic, we're not going to see quarterbacks or anybody on offense really have 20-year long careers. Guys is about to start getting fucked up. Straight up.
we'll see. We will definitely see. Um, well, I guess that's all that we have for today, right, guys?
You messing with anything new?
To be honest, not really. I mean, uh, do I don't really watch no new shows, but I don't know why I keep watching Sweet Home and Cobra Kai over and over again. You know what? Real quick, that's
Sweet
that's what we're gonna
Home.
talk about
We're
right
talking
now,
about
Joey.
Sweet Home real quick. I just
Let's.
finished Sweet Home
We
today.
talked. We.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Okay. Go ahead, and then we're gonna get to you, Joey. We getting to you next. It's gonna be a long
Like
one. Don't worry. Don't
like
worry.
I remember a couple weeks ago you were talking about Sweet Home, and I tried watching it, and then I was like, let me sit down and watch it again. And after I had to get acclimated to it was pretty disgusting to start off. I'm just say that. But after I got acclimated to all that, and I actually got into the story, I actually found myself rooting for people. I actually found myself falling in love watching this show and all that, and I was just like, oh man, I'm actually enjoying sitting down, getting to know all these characters, getting to know all the different abilities from all these creatures and these monsters and all that. There's actually one point that actually made me cry. I'm not even gonna lie. It was that part where like spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen it, when Miss Anne, when she finds out that she's gonna turn into a monster, and she goes up there, she's like, I don't know how you dealt with this treating you like crap for the last for the last 7 episodes. But yeah, I mean, it's just she broke
Yeah.
down. I was just like, yo, I felt that a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I actually rewound that and played that part a couple of times.
I think those guys are some pretty good actors. The team on that
Oh
show,
yeah,
definitely.
and the one issue too is it was kind of hard to realize who was family, who wasn't family, because the way they set up the show, the way they had the flashbacks and the callbacks, everything, it made it a lot more confusing than I felt like it had to be. Because there's a few times I was so lost. I'm just gonna let it go. I'm just gonna let it go.
Same.
Somebody's this, somebody's that. Just somebody die. Okay, it happened. All right, here we go. But if anybody who's still holding out hope about that show, watch it. It is a really good show. It'll really captivate you, and have you on the edge of your seats, especially once you start getting really into it. The way once you get to halfway through, you're set. I mean, you're stuck in there in your seat. You're gonna finish it.
Is it on one
Yeah, it's
season
on one
thus
season.
far?
One season so far. Yep.
I'll give it a start then. As long as it's not in like season 7 or 8 where it's like, bro, it's not
No,
worth it
it's
no
no.
more.
It's only
You know what I'm
one.
saying?
I actually got to the
Yeah.
end,
No.
and
No.
I was
No.
just like, "Oh, that's it." Damn, I was expecting more. But fair warning to anybody, I'm a purist when it comes to some of this stuff. So I like reading and watching because I like watching it in actual Korean, and so I can just read the show and all that. It feels more natural to me. If you're gonna watch it in English, I have no idea how good that dub is. So I prepare yourself to read.
It's like awkward voices, people
Yeah,
that don't match or nothing.
I would say the voice acting isn't terrible, but the subtitles, that's what gets you. It like somebody saying one thing and then the subtitles say something completely different, and it's like, what the fuck? That doesn't even match. What the hell? So if you watch it in dub, don't even put subtitles on. I wouldn't bother with it, just so you don't confuse yourself. But
Mhm,
but yeah, but it's dope though for sure. But Joey,
mhm.
we spoke about Cobra Kai a little bit last week. Cobra Kai season 3 specifically. Me and Dan spoke about it last week. let's pick your brain this week. So what'd you think, man? What'd you think?
Yeah, I finished it yesterday. Pretty good season. Season 3 was pretty good. I like how they started bringing back some old vibes from the Karate Kid Part 2. Now I saw where Chosen had came in, the ex-girlfriend Allie came back around. Also, I forgot her name, but the Asian girl from when he went to go visit Miyagi in Japan.
Kimiko.
Kimiko, that's right. So I like the storyline overall. It definitely starts where Robbie's on the run, because obviously he thinks he pretty much just killed Miguel, and everybody's tripping. And somehow, this is hilarious, the whole town finds out that Sam LaRusso is kind of a hoochie. So that keeps coming up a few times in the show. I thought that was pretty funny. A little bit of an ongoing joke. She does have cakes. I will admit to that. She does have cakes. But it's kind of funny because Johnny Lawrence, Sensei Johnny, is like, you know, he was feeling Miguel's mom, right? But that's when everything first started, and he's like, Miguel Sensei is trying to teach him how to defend himself because he saw that he was getting bullied and this and that, just like premise of the show. Then, things get sour, shit goes bad. Miguel shows mercy, and he takes that fall that pretty much puts him in a coma, paralyzes him, and then he wakes up, right? And it's like this metaphorical fight in his mind of like this karate match going on, and finally he defeats, the kid he's fighting, and he wakes up. And now, Sensei's like trying to get him to get his legs to move, and he's trying to motivate him in more than one way, and finally he takes him to like some concert, and he starts tapping his foot, and it's like miraculous. I really enjoyed it. I thought the storyline was pretty good. I followed along very well. Not too emotional, not overly dramatic. It was actually better than I thought. Listening to you guys speak about it and then finally watching it, it kind of blended better than I thought. So then, there's like the All Valley tournament's coming up, and the city's like, nope, these kids are doing karate all over the town. They're killing each other in school. The shit's off. So now all the senseis, you got Kreese, you got LaRusso, you got Lawrence, all trying to fight like, oh, this needs to come back on. They're in front of the council person, and she's like, nope, fuck y'all. And then Miguel stands up and makes like this great speech about how it's I'm the one that got hurt and I'm fine, and this is like an outlet for us, and just the whole spiel about how karate is not bad. And he gets them to turn it over, and obviously all the senseis are pleased. So what does this motherfucker Johnny Lawrence do? You know what I'm saying? Miguel does you a favor. He gets the tournament back on. You turn around, go home, and bang his mom. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Yeah, bro. And then check this out. Then you bang his mom, and then you go make lunch plans with your ex-girlfriend. Like, come on, bro.
That shit was wild.
Stuff I didn't like was there was a PTA meeting, a parent teacher, whatever. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever stepped in on one or ever been to one. This shit was so fake. There's never been no PTA meeting with an entire auditorium full of parents. Parents don't give a fuck about 20 kids doing karate. That school got 5,000 kids at it. They're not worried about 20 kids doing karate. Then you got a full auditorium full. I thought that was bogus. And then I don't know how, like, I just got to keep it real. I don't know how long this show is going to keep going with the amateur ass attempt at karate LaRusso's been doing this whole show. Like, he so slow. Even the last episode of season 3, even Kreese was getting in there with him. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, bro, LaRusso still looks more stiff, and he's got like 30 years on this dude. Like, come on, bro.
Bro, I hate how like stiff and how awkward his body looks when he's like doing like the choreography, and I'm just like, bro, like, why do we think this dude was like hot shit in the Karate Kid? Like, this shit looked.
He was just a heartthrob, bro. He was just a heartthrob, and they ate it up. That's why.
I was like, ain't no way in real life that fucking Daniel LaRusso could whoop Johnny's ass. Hell no.
I'll tell you right now, he would have been totally fucked if Chosen didn't teach him pressure points. If he did not teach
yeah,
him those pressure points, how to break down Kreese like that, it was a wrap. Oh, and that's another thing. I really enjoyed the backstory on Kreese.
it was
That
good.
shit got me
That was
tripping.
good.
And two things about him. One, he is a naturally ugly, intimidating face. This dude is meant for big roles, to be honest. This dude should be in one of those Avenger movies or something because he's got that ugly fucking glare. The only thing is though, miss me with the duck lips. Like this dude always has like this face thing going on. You know what I mean?
Oh
But
my
he
god.
but he does have this ugly like, like this mug that you just want to like, oh,
Yeah,
like
punch. You just want to punch
yeah.
it.
So really good backstory on Kreese. You kind of see why he's so fucked up in the head and kind of crazy and shows no mercy. So overall, season 3 to me was a success. I look forward to season 4. I don't know why he called his old war buddy for like obviously for a favor, but I don't know what that favor is. Kind of got me kind of anxious. Like, what the hell would you need this dude's assistance for right now? But we'll
For
see.
sure, for sure. We will definitely
We'll
see.
see.
I'm definitely
Overall,
excited for it
overall, I
too.
enjoyed it. It was pretty good. I'm gonna watch it back though and try to peep game and see if I missed anything. Hawk all of a sudden cool again with the homies. You
That
know
was
what I
so
mean? Now they
crazy,
got
right? That was so
two senseis at once. How's that gonna work? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. There's a lot of wild shit, bro. A lot of wild shit this season, but I'm
but I
excited
think
for season 4.
I think I was dead on with my assessment last time we talked about it. I think maybe it's probably got one, maybe 2 seasons left. I think if they drag this
Yeah.
out a little too far, it's gonna get washed up.
Oh, for sure, for
I
sure,
like the
absolutely,
trend it's going in now though.
definitely. All right, Piglets. This has been another installment of Culture by the Uncultured. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Culture by the Uncultured. Remember, Piglets, Culture by the Uncultured is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. We hope everyone out there is staying safe, and if you can't be safe, be deadly. Catch you guys next time.
No mercy.
Later, Piglets.
Stand back and stand by.